Welcome back to Twin Terror. I'm David.
And I'm Gary.
And that's Laura.
And that's Laura. And today we're going to talk about...
Gary's drive-by wife.
Yes. We're going to talk about Trump's polling numbers and maybe some of Trump's less rabid supporters are starting to wake up and smell the coffee.
You know, I got opinions.
We all have opinions. Opinions are like...
One thing that's been mildly helping me, you'll hear a number of readers talk about Trump is out here to teach us things. And for the viewers here, and Gary and myself included, I've included some of those viewers, it's very frustrating because like we don't want to learn. It's like, why do we have to go through this lesson?
Yeah, we learned it.
and exactly, and that's the point. The lesson's not for us. The lesson are for the supporters of Donald Trump. And if you think about it in that way, I mean, it doesn't make your life any better or easier because we all have to deal with this stuff. But Gary and I have been pretty consistent in saying that Trump supporters are the ones who are going to suffer the most under Trump's policies.
Yeah.
And the lesson for them is, you know, you've got somebody who's playing on your worst impulses and tells you it's okay to let those impulses out, and then you support them, and then your ugliness, your inner ugliness that you're spewing out in the world, then comes back home to roost.
Yeah.
And that's the lesson they need to learn. And the more they're exposed to this, the more Donald Trump's allowed to do what he wants to do, the more and more of them are going to start recognizing that this is, quote unquote, not what I voted for.
Right.
But you know, it's like the first step down a path.
Yeah, and you're starting to see multiple videos out online. I think Adam Mockler has a whole bunch where like there was one guy that he was a small business owner. He was selling rims for cars, you know, like custom rims.
Yeah.
And he started to figure out that these tariffs were raising the cost of the rims he was purchasing from his Chinese suppliers.
You mean China's not paying the cost of those?
And so he was asking people online, it's like, can you give me a line to some American suppliers or some alternative country that's not under such heavy tariffs?
Sure.
And the comments...
A reasonable business thing to do.
Exactly. And the comments are basically, dude... You voted, and he admitted that he voted for Trump, and that because Trump was going to help the economy and help businessmen. But they're like, dude, you're literally getting what you voted for.
Yeah.
You know, and his reply is, why are people being so mean? And it's just like, they're not being mean. They're just pointing out that you signed up for this.
Right. Now, again, the whole point is that there's a lesson to be learned. This guy's taken the first baby step towards that lesson, and you can see how much they don't want to walk it.
Yeah,
you're being mean to me. Yeah, how do you think you got here? And that's the hard part. Is just
that's exactly the right phrase. How do you think we got here? Because you were willing to be mean towards somebody else.
Yeah. And then when it came back and bit you in the butt, you're like, but I don't like that. Yeah, the rest of us didn't like it either, which is why we didn't want to go down this path in the first place.
Yeah. It's the leopard wasn't going to eat my face. He's supposed to eat that person's face.
And again, the hard part for us is not just jumping down their throats and eviscerating them for their naivety,
short-sightedness,
their short-sightedness, their anger and hatred towards others without any consideration of the repercussions towards themselves or the collective.
Yeah. Lack of inner soul searching.
Yeah. Some of it's brain chemistry. You know, if you have a part of your brain that's got a larger lizard brain part of it where you're more fearful than like another part where you have a lot more critical thinking skills, you tend to react to things emotionally rather than analytically.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it gets you all worried about trans bowlers versus billionaires who want tax breaks and want to take away your medical coverage. Yeah. You know, yeah, it's easy to get upset about trans bowling because you don't know who to root for at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
You know, that's a life event that we can all relate to.
How many times have we rooted for the wrong person?
My God, you thought she looked good in a dress, and you found out her name was Earl. Not saying that Earl Anthony was a crossdresser.
No,
He wasn't.
He was very butch.
I was trying to actually think of a male name that could be mistaken.
That was a good one.
That was a good one.
We watched a little bit of pro bowling in the 70s. That's the only bowler name I
Earl
can
Anthony, like Mark Webber was another one that falls off real quickly.
Yeah, I just stopped at Earl Anthony. That was the only one I remember. And he had like a buzz cut.
Yeah.
He was like a total...
Look like Bob.
Yeah.
Family friend.
Yeah, so... I was looking at this article where MSNBC was pointing the brutal reason why Trump voters have turned against him. And what they came up with in this article was basically, is the economy stupid? That Trump's failing on the economy, and the Fox News poll showed. Whoa, that was a fresh card. The Fox News poll showed like a 38% approval of Trump's handling of the economy.
The only person with like a lower score in his first 100 days was Trump in his first term.
Yeah, and the lowest score on Trump's favorability poll was how he's been handling the Kilmar Abrego Garcia situation, where this guy he didn't accidentally got deported. He got deported without any sort of due process, sent to El Salvador in the Supermax prison, and even a lot of independents and mainstream Republicans are like, yeah, that's not such a good idea.
That might be a bridge too far.
Yeah, and we could go into this later, and we might do a little grab bag with this in it. But the Trump administration, basically, the United States was trying to backpedal from it and trying to back channel his way.
No, just go ahead and reach in. It's grab bag.
Oh, that's right.
And the winner is
I didn't grab one.
Fails the assignment.
Rainbow Obsidian. The U.S. government was trying to get him back through back channels, diplomatic channels. And then the Trump administration got a hold of it, and they just started doubling down on it. So why, try and score political points with this? Yeah, that's a total Trump tactic. Take a negative and make it a positive.
Yeah, take a negative, make it even
make
more
it
negative.
Worse, right? So let's take a look at the energy around independents, less Republicans who haven't drunk so deeply from the Kool-Aid, because they were mentioning in this article that even Nixon, after he resigned, still had his ardent supporters, right? So there's going to be that 20 to 30% of MAGA that just will never let it go. But for the rest of them, how are they doing? And are we starting to see progress for entertainment purposes only? What do we need to know about these folks that were voted for Trump in 2024 because they thought he was going to be great for the economy. Mm-hmm. He was going to help the American businessman. Mm-hmm. He was going to lower egg prices and make the world better again.
He said eggs are down 97% or 90% off their top value, which is so demonstrably false. And that gas is like $1.98 a gallon in 3 states, which is also demonstrably false.
God. I mean, I was at the local Lucky's, and the cheapest dozen eggs I saw there was like $10 for a dozen.
Yeah, it was 4.5 is like nationwide. $4.5 is
the Trader Joe's down the road from me. The eggs were about.
Wait a minute. Go on, keep going.
Was about $4.50 to $5 for a dozen.
Yeah, I should rephrase that. I think the video I was watching say the average egg price across the U.S. when Trump took office was $4.50. Now it's like $6.50 for a dozen. You can expect California to be more expensive because everything's more expensive, from rent to utilities to insurance, to wages to
about everything. So Foundation is the Empress. He was going to make things so much better for us. We were going to prosper under Trump. The challenge now is those trickle-down economics aren't trickling so much. The wealthy people are getting wealthier, but the average consumer is not seeing any relief. And no, there's no meaningful relief. Matter of fact, it's going the other way around. Matter of fact, he shouldn't be like dropping coins. He should be like, how many coins more can you give me?
They want trickle down economics, right?
Yeah, they sure do.
And Trump's going to turn the spigot.
The energy underneath it is Page of Swords. You know, they were being young, naive, and reckless with their votes, and with very cavalier towards the actual issues and the situations at hand.
Well, it's funny, you know. Right, you know where I go to? I go right to 1930s, 1940s Italy, where they want Il Duce to come in and take care of them because they're impoverished, and little do they know that they've drunk so deep from the propaganda Kool-Aid, and Il Duce was not there for them.
Yep. In the past, these voters felt disenfranchised. They felt like their needs were being ignored, and Trump was going to take them to the promised land.
Yeah, because he understands them. He's gonna fight for them. He's gonna make their lives better.
Fight. Yeah, I'm going to make the economy. It's all the economy, and I'll have those egg prices down in nothing flat. The current energy is the Seven of Pentacles, which is. In some cases, it's the reaping what you sow card.
Exactly where I would go with it. You put ugliness and anger and venom out there, and you're suddenly surprised when your bush bears bitter fruit.
Yes.
There's a biblical quote about the bitter fruit, I believe.
Indeed.
Let me go look that up while stop interrupting.
So where I'm going with this is, you know, they're starting to look back at the campaign promises and the campaign and the actual realities of that. You know, it's one of those things where tariffs sound like a good idea until you actually understand who pays for them. And so they're getting exactly what they voted for. And now they're going to have to take a little thought process, take a minute to think about what it was that you were voting for.
Let's see. The Old Testament, Proverbs 1:31, describes the consequences of rejecting wisdom and living one's own way. Therefore, they must eat the bitter fruit of living their own way, choking on their own schemes. Yeah. And then we've got the root of bitterness, which can lead to the defilement, harboring resentment or bitterness. Okay. There might have been a bitter water one, too.
Yeah. Overarching energy is the Two of Cups. They're starting to understand that just smashing and bashing on the Democrats, while that may have felt good at the time, they're starting to realize that they're being misled, and they're going to have to start developing relationships with those people around them. You know, Trump's hanging out over this, trying to poison the drinks, poison the well, but these relationships need to be repaired. The lesson to be learned, the Nine of Cups, hopes, wishes, dreams fulfilled. It's that whole monkey's paw, you know, be careful what you wish for. You know, it's, once again, if, as Dave was mentioning, you know, if you're putting venom out there and intolerance and hatred, you know, the fruit that you're going to, you know, if that's what you're sowing, your fruit is not going to be tasting sweet and lovely. Once again, the lesson to be learned, the Four of Wands, it's about relationships and the repairing and the building of relationships. They are starting to figure it out. Takes them a little bit of time, but they're starting to figure it out.
I'm trying to think of what I'm going to ask.
I can pause it.
Do you have a question real quick? Otherwise, pause it.
I'm going to pause it. Okay, do you have the cards in the order that you wanted?
Yeah, as you can see, I've been overhand shuffling the whole time. Anybody who thinks, oh, David sucks his card. Dude, you can hear me shuffling the entire time. And it's not out of a nervous habit or anything like that. It's literally just sort of getting into the vibe of the reading and just keeping the cards mixed up. Where I was going to go with this, this probably wasn't in Gary's article, but was in an article I saw. They were looking at the change in approval ratings for like Trump's handling the economy or his handling the presidency. In all, you know, age groups were down, except for folks with, it's like they looked at age groups and they were all down, whether you were, you know, 18 to 30 or 45 to 65 or older than 65, everybody has a lesser opinion of Trump's handling of things. Then they looked at age brackets in education, and the only group that he was up with, which was like a remarkable 17 points, were non-college educated whites. Go figure. That's his base to a T.
Yeah. Did they say what age group they were in?
No, because the age groups were broken up in a different... There were two graphs. What I wanted to ask is, what will it look like when folks that have bought into his message start pushing back? What's it going to manifest like? What's it going to look like? What's going to be that touchstone moment that you start seeing them getting angry over and really pushing back? That's where maybe the tarot can help with that one. Read the energy on what's it going to look like when his supporters, people, and again, the super MAGAs are never, they're gone. The propaganda is too deep. They're too deep into it. But for the other ones, what's it going to look like? Okay, there's going to be strong emotions.
Yeah.
But not a surprise. I talked about brains, and some people have a bigger lizard part of the brain versus the analytical part of the brain. So it's going to be a strong emotional response about the suffering that they're enduring. It's too much. You know, it's the thing is, it's not any one thing. It's going to be the collective of things. The decision that Trump makes. And then underneath it is temperance. You could say it's gonna be a slow buildup, but it's also about the toxicity. So I'm being taken to healthcare and keeping people healthy. And so I guess, for instance, as an example, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I think there was a natural disaster in Arkansas. Was it Arkansas she's in?
Yeah.
And they went to the federal government for a handout. I'm sorry, for FEMA.
Yeah.
And they basically said, no, this is a state level thing. You guys can pay for it yourselves.
Read between the lines.
Yeah. And there's this shock, like, but you know, the first term you just wouldn't give money to the blue states and you gave it to the red states. You know, now he doesn't want to give money to nobody.
Yep.
And it's going to be stuff like that is going to drive this. So, you know, there's a strong emotional component about the suffering, and they want the suffering to ease. Underneath it, they want the suffering to ease. So that's telling me that the government's not stepping in and helping them with things the government would traditionally help them with. In the past, I'm going to read this as the oligarchs. Court decisions going against people, oligarchs getting what they wanted. This is not the people getting what they... It is MAGA getting what they wanted. They hired their guy.
Yeah.
So in that way. But I think this is all the oligarchs really getting their guy.
Yeah.
And
there he is.
And there's the current situation is the King of Pentacles. Remember when the CEO of United Healthcare got shot? And if you went to the comments about the story, you couldn't tell the Republicans from the Democrats in those comments. There was, generally speaking, I don't condone murder, but F that guy type of thing. And it's going to be the wealthy getting wealthier. And the Trump supporters getting more and more burden put on them. So it's going to be the wealth disparity. This could be the tax break for the rich and then the cutting of programs that help everyday Americans. This is the Trump telling you, the economy's fixed when people know darn well the economy's not fixed. It doesn't feel fixed. Over the top, this is going to be people starting to leave. Families leaving. Small groups leaving the supporting of Trump. Small groups at a time. And in some ways, it's the familial unit. When you have somebody in your family suffering and then the government's not helping like they normally would, there's going to start to be some resentment towards the government. And the Republicans have been remarkably good at blaming Biden or blaming Obama for the consequences of Trump's actions.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a moving away from that because it's one of those things that they just can't blame Biden for as much as they want to.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying.
Yeah. Lesson to be learned is the Empress. People want their comfortable lifestyle, and it's going away because the wealthy are getting wealthier. And then, when, the government's supposed to take care of all of its citizens, and the government's only taking care of the wealthy citizens, and there's going to be that, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Don't be lazy and entitled. It's going to, again, hit a strong emotional response with people. Queen of Cups. When it does happen, I think the top is going to blow off. This is kind of the pressure cooker.
Yeah, exactly.
And this cup doesn't have the handles to keep the lid on. And so they can keep a lid on it for a while, but at some point, like any revolution, there's going to be one event that happens, and Gary can read on that event. One event that happens that sets basically putting the torch to the gunpowder. That sets the whole thing off. But what it's telling me is there's a huge buildup of pent-up emotions because of the hard living and the suffering that people are going to endure under this administration. Something's going to trigger it.
Okay, let's take a look and see. Just a little short four-quarter.
Yeah, I think that's
what's it going to look like? What will this?
What's going to trigger it? What's going to send them over the edge?
Okay, it's something foolish is going to happen, or something we've not experienced before.
Yeah, probably something we've never experienced before. Something brand new.
There's going to be a Page of Wands moment. So it's either new messaging is going to be coming from this, or they are going to try and spin this in a way that is completely unaccepted or unbelieved.
Wands are about actions that you're going to be taking.
Yeah,
and
a new action
that they're saying, like, we are going to confiscate all guns. We are going to cancel the 2026 elections. Something that they say they're going to start doing. That would take this country on a new course.
Right. It's going to be benefiting people who are wealthy. It's going to benefit the haves, the people that are enjoying their current lifestyle.
There's that Temperance card.
And the Temperance card shows up again, and it's not balanced. It's something that there should be a balance, and it's an imbalance. Is what's going to be happening here, and underneath it is Page of Swords. It's going to.
They just don't know what they're doing.
It could be either Trump doing his doubling down like he normally does. To me, this is just it's just an immature act, something that it doesn't make sense. This is some sort of lashing out. So, is it suspending the Constitution?
No, it's healthcare. It's healthcare.
You think it's healthcare?
It's healthcare. These are reversed, but yeah, it's we've had this healthcare to take care of our health. And it removes toxicity, and it's almost like this would be them passing the budget and saying we're getting rid of
Medicare,
we're getting rid of Medicaid, we're getting rid of children's health insurance. Oh, you want Social Security? You have to be 75 now. They're going to start upping the Social Security age, cutting benefits.
Yeah, well, the Social Security age, unless it's only impacting kids that are like in their 20s. The folks getting Social Security probably won't be impacted, in those our age that are close to getting it.
Typically, when they make the change to Social Security, it's not the folks that currently have it. They move it down the line, so it's like people who are 40 years old now, instead of getting full benefits at 67, they're going to get them at 70, and then people who are 20, they're going to have to wait till they're 73 or something. It's going to be a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, and I agree with David, not so much on Social Security, but I think we're really turning the corner. Now, this is analytical, Gary. This is not tarot, Gary. That budget is going to be so bad.
It's going to be brutal. If they pass a huge tax cut like they want to do for the ultra wealthy, they have to get that money. Well, they're either going to bury the U.S. in so much debt that they're going to crash the economy because people are going to flee treasuries in the
Yeah.
bond market,
Yeah.
or they're going to
Draconian cuts.
That was exactly what I was going to go for. Draconian cuts.
And those cuts is what it's going to cause people to turn the corner.
When we talk about the Trump supporters to be the ones who have to suffer the most, they're the ones who rely on those programs the most. So it's going to be cuts to welfare. It's going to be cuts to SNAP. It's going to be cuts to after-school programs. It's going to be cuts to Head Start. It's going to be cuts to their health care. And, it's just, they're just going to get hit 10 different ways. It's not going to be any one thing. It's going to be a whole lot of things. But there will be that one final one that happens. It literally, there's going to be one more thing they say they're going to do, and it's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, it's going to be that pressure cooker, Queen of Cups.
Yeah.
Or Queen of, Queen
We're
of Cups.
done. We cannot do any more of this.
You've blown it up.
Yeah. F you.
Yeah. So I would say, I think the budget's September.
That's when they have to have it approved. I think by the end of September it has to be approved.
Yeah, that's kind of my guess. In 6 months' time, shit's going to get real.
So don't look forward to
I know.
this.
Yeah, 6 more months of this crap, right? That's what we got for you. Thank you so much for watching our channel. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We're on our way to 28,000 subscribers. We're knocking on the door. We're going to be celebrating our 1-year anniversary next month.
What is that? May what?
Well, we incorporated on May 24th because that's Gina's birthday. And I think our first video came out shortly after that. I'd have to look at the calendar, but yeah, it's been almost a year. We're having a good old time. I want to give a couple of shout outs. I've actually cleared my list of shout outs, surprisingly enough. I thought I had a couple more, but they're not on my phone. So I can go to people I recognize in the comments or people who've recently left comments. And one of those persons is June Wagner. Hi, June.
Hello, June.
June made the comment. She wishes she could donate to the channel. Don't worry about us, June. You've got enough going on in your plate. Don't worry about donating to us.
We good.
Yeah, but we like to acknowledge June. If you've seen her channel, she has a very uplifting channel. She reads tarot. She does personal readings. Check out her channel, June Wagner, also known as the Tarot Goddess or the Mouth of the South, depending on.
I just think she's changed her name to Mouth of the South Tarot. Or something
I think
like that.
Tarot Goddess is more fitting for June. But June, thank you so much, and maybe Dave can give you a call.
We want sass.
The four.
She's not gonna do either one of
She's
them.
going to think about it. And then I want to give a shout out to Readings by Dom. Dom does tarot readings in Southern California. He's a very good reader. His readings are along the same lines as June Wagner. So if you like June's material, you'll probably like Dom's as well.
If you like Dom's material, you'll probably like June's material.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. So let's give Dom a card.
Okay. What card do you want to give?
I don't know. Let's see.
Right off the top of the deck.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
So Gary will now sing Kiki D's part.
Yes, don't go breaking my heart.
And I'll sing Elton John's part. Which will sound remarkably similar. Since
Yes,
our vocal tones
exactly.
Are the same.
Becky Stone. Hi, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Becky is very present in the comments. Let's give Becky a nice card.
We want a nice card. Oh, as opposed to the
No.
rotten, terrible card.
The terrible card you gave poor
I give
Dom.
everybody else.
You're just being out there and being all reckless. And then, let's see. One of the better names, MAGA Immune Mama.
I wonder if there's an inoculation.
Oh
for
my
that.
gosh! I wish we could take some of that DNA and spread it across the United States.
Yeah, go fight the good fight. Continue
Yeah, thanks,
fighting the good
MAGA
fight.
Immune Mama. And then we'll just do one more here at random, and we're gonna do it for Grumpy 1311.
It's time to buy that lottery ticket.
Absolutely.
You'll be a lot less grumpy.
And then
When you've won $20 million.
and then we'll wrap it up with Cindy Mapelli or Cindy M. Pelli. Let's see, what is it? It is Cindy Mapelli. Yay! Queen of Pentacles, my favorite card in the deck.
There you go.
Yay, thank you, Cindy. We truly appreciate you. Cindy's kind of new to the comment section, but she's been posting, so
Good.
Welcome aboard, Cindy. Glad to have you with us here. All right, and then a secret card for the rest of us.
All right, I don't think we did a secret.
I don't think we did it on the last video. Oops.
Let's change the picture.
Ace of Cups, don't get too upset. Sometimes we do forget. Thank you, folks. Really appreciate you guys watching.
Take care.
Bye.